Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pulse podcast where we give small answers to the big questions that people have about the faith. I'm your host Tariq and I'm joined here with MT. How you doing, MT?
Good.
See, you've popped on the glasses for today's episode.
Yeah, I actually can't see anything, so it's nice to have my glasses on where I can see for once.
Awesome. So let's just dive straight in. Question for today is, what guidance does the Bible have on how Christians should engage with politics and governance?
Yeah, so again, great question. There are lots the Bible says about this. So what I've tried to do is synthesize it into three things. So what are three main things that Christians can think about as they engage, whether it's in elections, whether it's in politics more generally? Maybe some people are listening in America and they're thinking there's an election coming up. Whenever this episode goes out, the first thing is, I think believers are to love justice, right? This means they're meant to seek justice and defend the oppressed. Isaiah 1:17 says this. It says, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. God is clearly there helping Christians think about how to actively promote fairness, equality, right? In governance, right? How to advocate for laws and policies that protect the vulnerable, that ensure justice for all. So that means political engagement, in whatever shape it looks like in your country or where you're listening to this, should reflect God's heart for justice, and it should focus on the well-being of the poor, of the marginalized, of those who are treated unfairly in society. That's not, and I'm not prescriptive about one party or the other party, but that's something you should think about. How do I love justice in my interaction? The second is, how do I stand for truth, right? So as a believer, we want to speak truth in all circumstances. Ephesians 4:25 says this. It says, therefore, each of you must first put off falsehood, speak truthfully to your neighbor, because we are all members of one body. I think there's something about politics or just engaging in civic life that's very at any cost necessary. We have to dunk on the other team. If as long as we win, that's all that matters. And the Bible's like, no, the means is as important as the ends. You can't say, I love justice, but I'm going to do it dishonestly. No. You have to love justice first, but then two, you have to stand in truth and speak in truth. And so political discourse, whether it's on Twitter, it's on Reddit, it's on Rumble, it has to reflect God's truth. It has to be aiming at bringing clarity, wisdom, moral integrity into the public sphere. It's all about trying to uphold truth in leadership, making sure policies you're looking out for align with God's values, right? That's another sort of key thing. And the third thing, which I think is very, very important, and it's related to the first one, is I think when we engage in civic life or politics, we have to be thinking about, how do we uphold human rights? Like, how do we ensure people's dignity are really well catered for? I have to declare an interest because I'm libertarian, right? So I'm very much, let's get the rules right, but pretty much give people responsibility for their own lives. That's something I firmly believe in. I think it's biblical. But you look at Proverbs 31 and it says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all those who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly, defend the rights of the poor and needy. That passage clearly highlights the idea that Christians have a responsibility to ensure the government and any system we have protects the human dignity and the rights of other people. Those three principles, love and justice, standing in truth, defending people's human rights, I think helps to kind of guide or create a guideline for how you can engage. Now, note, you can vote any way you want to vote. You can support whatever leader you want to support. You can get involved in any pressure group. You can march for whatever cause. All that, it's down to you. But those are just three principles you can extrapolate from the Bible that might guide you in how you actually engage with political issues and stuff like that.
That's brilliant. I guess especially on platforms like Twitter or X now, the truth is so imperative, where you got so many voices, some trolls even, jumping into the discourse. So, that second one for me, just upholding the truth is a really important one. But like all three really good points: love and justice, upholding the truth, and defending human rights. And you said that's a libertarianism approach.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah. I mean, libertarians are sort of really big on sort of small government, protecting people's property rights, but beyond that, kind of giving people maximum freedom to live whatever life they see fit. I think the difficulty is, I remember being asked once, because I was very active in politics when I was young. I was a youth MP, I was a UK Young Ambassador to the European Union, I was the young mayor, like, I'd done all that sort of stuff. And they were like, can someone be pure, go into politics and like stay pure? Because isn't the pursuit so murky that if you get involved in politics, you naturally become murky and dirty? And I sort of disagreed with them, of course. I said, well, I think it's important to be deeply planted, because if you're not deeply planted in the heat of debate or because you passionately care about something, it can actually become very sinful, where your worst, it's that whole, like, for instance, the principle of charity. You don't often see it online. People straw man each other's ideas. They present the worst idea of somebody else to knock it down. We have a whole culture and political discourse of dunking on people. We have a debate and it's like, Tariq destroys my comedy. And then there's like a 6-second clip of you destroying me on Twitter. Everyone's going, yeah. So all of that is part and parcel of politics these days. So if anyone wants to go into politics, I think they have to really be deeply planted in the word. They have to really love these biblical principles. They have to really ensure like they are on solid ground. Because if you're not careful, if you go into politics naively, or like with a high level of naivety, you actually can become corrupted in the process. But I don't think the process necessarily corrupts you. I think it's possible to hold firm to biblical truths, lean in, and try to tilt public discourse in a way that helps justice, that stands up for truth, and that helps and that defends people's human rights.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, thank you for those answers, Mike. And we hope you enjoyed today's episode today. If you did, and if you have an interest about going into politics possibly, please drop us a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on the episode as well if you found this useful. And please, give us a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to see you guys just engage with the podcast, and we want to know your thoughts and what you're thinking. And if you've enjoyed today's podcast and you'd like to ask a question yourself, please email us at hello@ourgodgivenmission.com or drop us a DM on Instagram.
Hey, thank you so much for watching that video and for staying all the way till the end. We are on a journey to 10,000 subscribers. So if you like that video, if you want to see more from us, if you want to support us, do so by clicking the subscribe button. Our mission here is to help you discover Jesus and to equip you to make him known. So keep talking about Jesus and hit the subscribe button.